Hi, everybody. Good morning from beautiful Malaysia. So, wow, what a week, eh? When we look out and see the world, it seems to be on fire with rage. I know. And so you have to stop and ask yourself, hi, Michael and Susan, what are you projecting into the world that's adding on to that chaos, right? And I think a good place to start with that is to make a list of your fears, because you'll always project fear. That's what we do with fear. We got to get rid of it. So we put it on someone else. So we throw it out into the world. So an exercise that we can do is to make a list of our fears. Hi, Kyrene. And whoops, there goes my computer. Make a list of your fears. And just notice that if I am not extending love, then I'm projecting the fear in my mind. And what we're seeing right now in the world is a massive outpicturing of the fear in the mind. And we're making fear real. Never make fear real, right? And we'll go deeper into that because we're addicted to making fear real. Because I don't think we really understand what that means. So in this lesson, there is no cruelty in God and none in me. The Master takes us, hi, Jeannie, deeper into what the meaning of all of this. Okay, so, but before we get started, let's just close our eyes and connect with the love in our heart, and then we'll get started. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. And we begin by taking a nice big breath. Just take a big breath in, fill your lungs to the very top. And when you exhale, make a sigh, like you're letting go of all those attack thoughts. Oh, just let them all go. Let's take two more. Another big inhale. Oh, releasing, letting go. And one more really big inhale. Those attack thoughts in the mind are really heavy. They weigh you down. They make you anxious. And they are fear-based thoughts coming from the ego, not from God. God is love, and God is all-encompassing. Love is all-encompassing. And so if you are experiencing fear in any form, you are projecting it. You can be sure of that. So breathe in love and exhale fear. Just stay in the breath. Stay in the breath, inhaling love, exhaling fear. Inhaling love, exhaling fear. And as you sit here breathing in love and breathing out fear, I want you to imagine your 7 chakras, from the root chakra to the crown, like the colors of a rainbow. But we started the crown chakra this morning, and I want you to see the most beautiful, golden, luminous light coming in through your crown chakra. Just breathe it in. And as you breathe this light in, it's illuminating your mind. And it's balancing, unifying the right and left hemispheres of your brain. It's calming you down, allowing the monkey mind to be gone, just calming you down, this beautiful light. And this light is filled with ideas and inspiring thoughts. This light is filled with the grace of God. It holds everything that you would need for whatever it is you need. This light is your answer. Love is light, and light brings information. And we see the crown chakra, so beautiful, like the 1,000-petal lotus, begin to spin as more and more of this radiant, beautiful, golden light fills every cell in your brain. Relaxing you, loving you, inspiring you. No anxiety, no worry, just allowing the light to fill your mind with everything God. And now we allow this light with our next breath to fill our third eye chakra, the single eye of God, to fill it with this light, giving you the power to see, to have vision, and to see that you truly are the image and likeness of God, that you are an idea in God's mind, and as that, you can never be separate. And so see yourself as whole, perfect, and complete, the way God created you. And now, because of this vision, you are able to see the face of God in all your brothers and sisters. And from this vision, you extend only love, for that is what you are. And if you happen to see someone acting out, there's no need to attack, for love never attacks. You see it as a call for love. You do not make it real in your own mind. And by doing that, by not making it real, you give your brothers and sister a chance to get over it, to drop it. That's what happens when you hold truth and see only God's face of innocence. Now you truly see. When you see with the body's eyes, you are in the mode of attack, defense, cruelty. But we are not in the body's eyes this morning, today. We are in the single eye of the Christ, and we have perfect vision. And on your next breath, as you inhale love, allow this luminous golden light to enter into your throat chakra. This is the chakra where you speak God's will, where you speak truth. And this light is so filled with inspiring words and the will of God to do, to speak. It's just beautiful. You don't have to worry about what to say at all. You are simply a beautiful instrument for God's word to come through. This is a beautiful turquoise blue, eternal blue. Your words come direct from Spirit. You are in alignment with all that is good. I speak truth. I uphold truth. I am what God says I am. And I claim that now. Breathing in love and breathing out fear. And on your next inhale, allow this luminous golden light to make its way into your heart. And your heart chakra, being beautiful emerald green, bursts open like a jewel, a multifaceted jewel, sparkling, filled with God's love and light, where you now feel, I feel connected. I feel connected to my source. I am in right relationship. I am in my right mind, in my heart, one with God, one with everything, and I feel good. I feel good. Breathing in love and breathing out fear. Your heart is filled with God's grace, and you feel good. And on your next inhale, allow that luminous golden light to roll into your solar plexus, the golden yellow chakra, where now you have the power to take action. I act from a place of God's power. I act from a place of God's will in action. I am an instrument, and now I take action. I take action in my life, in the areas that I know I need to. I will not fear, for God walks beside me. The power walks beside me. There is no fear. I take action in my life for the highest good. I am so blessed and so grateful as I breathe in love and I exhale fear. And as we allow the gold and luminous light to roll down, we open our sacral chakra, a beautiful orange, and we allow this light to fill this chakra, and we feel the joy and the pleasure of God. We are creative people, and we bring our creative gifts into the world, expanding God's love in all that we say and all that we do. And we anchor that love. We are in the chakra of pleasure and joy, expanding our creativity, bringing our gifts. It's so easy because we walk with the divine. We are not alone. I enjoy from this chakra. And on your next inhale, we allow the light to roll down and enter into your root chakra. Beautiful ruby red, where you are now anchored in truth. God is, I am, all is well. You send down roots into the earth, connecting with Gaia, with the Mother, as the Father's love continues to pour into you. Your entire body temple is filled with this luminous love, grace, and light of God. And you are anchoring the light of divine will, divine love, and divine wisdom. You are solid. You have faith in the divine. You have faith only in God, doing only God's will. Life becomes effortless. You seek not outside yourself, but you seek to be what God said you are, right? Because who you are is not up to you. It's already stated by God that you are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. But you must ask yourself, who do you say you are? You must claim that. And so right here, right now, we claim that. I am what God says I am, the beloved, an extension of love. And so my duty is to extend love in the same way God extends love. Breathing in love and breathing out fear. We come back up that channel with those 7 chakras, and we are anchored in the root chakra. And once you're anchored in truth, you don't have to worry about your survival. Everything will be handled. Everything will be handled because you are a channel. You will know what to do. You will know where to go. There will be no fear because this bottom chakra now is filled with love, light, and light is information. So you will be guided. And then we move up to the beautiful orange sacral chakra. And we are enjoying the fruits of our labor here. We are happy. We are extending love. We are enjoying life. We are of service to our family and friends. We have brought that love all the way down through our chakras, and as we go back up to the 2nd chakra now, we are enjoying all the work that we have done. And now we move up to the solar plexus, and we are just love in action. We are love in action, serving all, loving all, no worries. Again, we are guided. We are protected. We know who we are as the image and likeness of God, a thought in the mind of God, and here in the mental plane of the solar plexus, all is well. I am the will of God in action. And we move up to the heart chakra, the beautiful green, and we feel the blessings that have been bestowed on us in this lifetime and past lifetimes, really, because everything got you right here to this place where you're breathing. You've never been in this moment before. This is brand new. And everything that happened in your life and lifetimes got you right here to this moment where you are breathing into your heart chakra with a smile on your face, feeling good, feeling God. And now we move up to our throat chakra, and there's just nothing more to say. We know God. We just know God in our heart. We don't even believe now. We just know. I am what God created. We know that. And so we cease to speak. And we just take the love in. There's nothing to say. Silence is the language of God. So we just sit in this beautiful turquoise blue chakra in the silence of love and bathe in this grace. And it's not that we'll never speak, but we will speak. When guided, we will know what to say. You know the drill. And then we move to the third eye, and you just have complete vision. You see the innocence in God's children because you see the innocence in yourself. You don't make the unreal real anymore. You just see the face of innocence. And there's such peace in that. And, take a big breath here. It feels so good to see the face of innocence in yourself and in your brothers and sisters. And then we move to the crown chakra. And here we say, I and my Father are one. I am in a divine connection with the Christ I am, forevermore. And as we sit here in this beautiful grace field, see yourself lit up like a Christmas tree, your chakras just sparkling. And think about when you have a down day, when you have those moments where you feel a little off. Just take a few minutes and run the beautiful manifesting current of God's grace from your crown to your third eye. Just run it through your energy body. Bring it down. And think things differently, say things differently, act differently. Bring the manifesting current of everything God down through your chakras, and the liberating current up from root, sacral, solar plexus to crown. Just run those currents when you're in a bad space. The trick is to remember or to know you're in a bad space and to want something else. But this is a nice exercise that you can do. But right now, we're feeling peace. We're feeling blessed because we are blessed. And so, as you sit in this luminous grace, go to the Lord God of your own being and pray your way. And when you hear the bell, we'll open our eyes. Hi, everybody. Well, I just love that meditation. I can just feel this manifesting current of God's grace coming through, giving you the eyes to see and the words to speak and the heart to feel and to take action on behalf of God and love and to enjoy and to anchor, to be solid, and then the liberating energy current as you go back up those chakras. It's just a wonderful meditation to practice. So anyway, so as I was saying before we went into meditation, a good way to know what you're projecting is stop for a few minutes and think about what frightens you, what you're afraid of, what people you're afraid of. You should be able to be around anyone and have no fear. Is there anybody in your life that you feel afraid to be around or that make you nervous? Because remember, fear takes many forms. So you might be around someone and feel anxious. That's a form of fear. You might be around someone and feel, angry. They just stir something up in you because fear takes many forms. So it's really good to do this exercise and just think about what makes me afraid? Who makes me afraid? What is it about them that frighten me? What is it about them? And once you have that list, you're going to know that that's what you're projecting. So the people in your life are simply manifesting the thoughts in your head. They're animating, rather, the thoughts in your head. And then you attack it and make it real. And the loop just keeps going round and round. So that's really good. Make your list of fear. So, because we have to become so conscious so we can catch it, so we don't project it. We can own it and say, oh, that's coming from my mind. And that's why it's showing up and I'm activated by it. You can see now, this is like lesson what, 170? The Course in Miracles basically says the same thing over and over and over again. The first thing it asks us is to make peace our goal. Well, if you have a lot of fear, you're not making peace your goal unless you can identify those fears and remove them, because they are blocks to the power that you have given to you by God. You cannot access that power with all those blocks. So you have to remove, the Course in Miracles puts it this way, remove the barriers to the presence of God. So I'm just saying, remove the blocks so you can access your power. True power, God's power, right? So the ego's goal is to keep love away from you. That's what it does. Its agenda is, let me make you so confused and so anxious and so depressed, because I don't want you to wake up and know that you can choose love over me, ego. So it works diligently, vigilantly to keep you in denial. And so we have to practice constantly, right? All kinds of practices to recognize. Here's the biggest one. And maybe think about this. Did this happen to you this week, where you were activated by someone and you went into blame right away? It was their fault. Who have you put in your life? Unconsciously, you put them there by how you think, but you're mad at them. They did something to you, or they're doing something to you. Is there someone in your life that you are dancing with right now in that drama? Okay? Because people are going to act out what's not healed in your mind. That's what they do. They just act out what's not healed in your mind. So do you have anybody? It's a really good exercise. And when you dance with them, which means you're in the game of attack and defense, really what you're doing is making the unreal, the thing you're attacking, you are making it real. Now you're bound to it. Whatever you make real, it's like glue. You're stuck to it. You're on the wheel of samsara. You've made the unreal real. What is unreal? Fear. That which changes is unreal. Only love is real, and love never changes. So anything you're afraid of, you're making it real. But in truth, it's unreal because it's impermanent, right? It's impermanent. Okay, so here's from the Course, and I just love these 3 lines, and it comes from Jesus. He says, I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. What's your goal? Love or fear? Ego or spirit? Projection or extension? What is your goal? And everything that seems to happen to me, because remember, we're in a dream world. It's a simulation. So it seems to happen to me. I ask for, oh gosh, think about that person you were activated by this week. You asked for it. And receive as I have asked. Everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for. And receive as I have asked. Those 3 lines are really powerful lines to sit and contemplate, because we have a really bad habit of trying to convince ourselves that something or someone is doing it to me, including sickness in the body. And that's a hard one to take. We think that the body just did that, and that we are victims of the body. But I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience. And when anything goes wrong, the first thing we do is attack it. Or we feel mad about it. We're angry at whatever's happening in our body or in our family or in the world. We're angry, anxious, fed up, whatever. And then we decide from that standpoint the goal that you want to achieve. And if the goal is not peace, then you're going to blame, attack and defend, and keep that drama going. But if the goal is peace, then you're going to say, oh, okay, wait a minute. There is no world in truth. Everything I experienced started in my mind. That sickness I have began here. That fight I had, and I blamed him or her, it started here. The more conscious you become, you make conscious choices. The conscious choice is, I choose peace. Above all else, I choose peace. I am responsible. Everything that seems to happen to you, you asked for. That's tough, because remember the victim archetype in the root chakra, in that 0 to 7, that's where it started, the victim. I'm unfairly treated. They did it to me. It's not my fault. And again, as a child, it's not your fault what happened to you. But as an adult, you know how that goes, right? It's your responsibility to forgive it. You forgive it. And you forgive it by not making it real. That's what gets us so upset. Making something that happened to you in your past real. You focus on it, you walk into it, you're angry at it, you're mad at it, you're making it real, you're feeding it, you're feeding it, you're feeding it. It's not real. Only love is real. Whatever happened to you in your childhood, and now as we look back on it, is an opportunity to forgive. And what is forgiveness? Ultimately, forgiveness is, I'm not going to make the unreal real. If what happened to me changed, it's not real, right? It's impermanent. Everything in the world of duality is impermanent. So I'm not going to make it real. It happened. Yes, I experienced it, right? But as an adult, I'm going to say, Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. Oh my gosh, this is a forgiveness opportunity. That's what it's all about. It's a forgiveness opportunity. Okay. Oh, we're so powerful because Jesus says, well, you know, everything that happened to you, you asked for, and you got to receive it as you asked. Wow. Cause and effect. You thought it, and then you got it. And we're unconscious. And you wonder, how did I make that? How did that happen? How did that happen? I'm in the realm of fear, not love. And when I am in the ego's domain, oh my gosh, I'm just creating a future, making a future, not creating, only love creates, but I'm making a future that is very glim because I'm in the thought system of the ego. So, okay, so do that this week or today or whenever. Make your list of all your fears, the people you fear, the places you fear, this, that. You might fear, political leaders, whatever. All of this, you're making it real. The more you talk about it, the more you focus on it, the more you go on and on about it, you're making it all real. None of it is real. Only love is real. And so you get back into the garden and you say, well, all that's a call for love. So my duty as an emissary of light and a sunbeam to the sun is to stay in the grace field of love and perfection. And if I'm called to assist in any way, I will assist. I will serve, but not from a place of attack, from a place of None of this is real. But I'll do my duty. But I know none of it's real. Right? That's really powerful. Really powerful. All right. Well, let's go to the lesson. There's lots of goodness in this lesson. There is no cruelty in God, and none in me. Wow. I know we can look back at the lesson too. If I, defend myself, I am attacked. An attack is always cruel. It's always cruel. Oh my gosh. Can you think of the last time you attacked someone? You had an intent to hurt because you're hurting. Of course you're hurting. You're hurting because you think you're separate from God. And when we're not in the grace field of God or believe that we're not there, we're in pain. And pain is fear. And so we want to get rid of it. And so we attack someone else. All right. Okay. The first paragraph says, no one attacks without intent to hurt. God doesn't hurt. Love doesn't hurt. Love is kind. Love is gracious. Love is forgiving. Love does not hurt. So when you attack someone, there is this unconscious, you're not even aware of it, because if you were, you wouldn't hurt someone, even with a sarcastic innuendo. You know how we have those little sarcastic things we say to one another? That's all coming from the ego. It's mean. It's mean. And when you are mean to someone, it makes you the recipient of your meanness. You're going to feel lousy, more lousy, more lousy, and you're wondering why I feel so low and depressed, because you are hurting yourself when you attack another. That's what we don't get, because if we really got it, we would stop doing it, right? So this can have no exception. When you think that you attack in self-defense, you mean that to be cruel is protection. Wow. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to throw my guilt, my fear on you, which is attack, and now I feel safe. Now I think I'm protected by doing that. I got rid of it. It's on you now. And I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. But it's in the mind. It's still in the mind. Right? You are safe. You think you're safe because of cruelty. Oh boy. All right. This is from chapter 29. And here's what the master says. Actually, let me just pause here for a minute, because what comes into my mind is when we attack someone, we're attacking them so that we can keep or make the separation real, so we can protect the separation. Do you get that? Like, that's kind of deep, but think about it. You're in the grave. You're in the ego's domain, right? And you attack someone, and you believe that attacking them and getting rid of whatever it is in your head onto them is going to keep you safe. You get to keep your thought system of fear real. You're protecting that thought system. You want the thought system of the ego to be real. You're protecting the separation. Oh my gosh. Can you get that? That is really crazy. Did you get that, Jane? Like, that's wild, right? So Jesus says, for every dream is but a dream of fear. And this is a dream world. It's a dream of fear, guys. No matter what the form it seems to take, it's all a dream. It's all in your mind, and it's projected out. The fear is seen within, without, or both. Or it can be disguised in pleasant form. Fear can be disguised in pleasant form. You know what that feels like, right? It's still fear. It's like, think about your first boyfriend or girlfriend. Oh my God, you just felt so good walking with them, right? But the whole time in your back of your mind, there's this fear that they'll disappear. So the dream, right? Or you get married to the greatest guy on earth or the greatest woman, and you're like, oh my God, you're just feeling the joy. But in the background, there's this feeling of, oh my God, what if they leave me? So even in the dream world of pleasantness, there's fear. There's just fear. In the world of duality, there is fear. Okay, so it can be disguised in pleasant form, but never is it absent from the dream. For fear is the material of dreams from which they are all made. And the special relationship, that's the biggie. You and me against the world, babe. That's the biggie, the special relationship. Their form can change, but they cannot be made of something else. Fear changes form, but it won't be made of love. Fear is fear, love is love. You're either choosing love or you're following fear. Love is a choice I must make. I must choose love. If I don't, I'm automatically choosing fear. Okay. You mean that you believe to hurt another brings you freedom? Yeah. They said that, so I said that. They did this, so I did that. That's what's going on between the countries right now. They did this, and I say, oh yeah, you do that, and I'll do that.
So true.
Right? And we call that like, oh my God, what do we call that?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. What? Diplomacy? Oh my. Yeah, just like kids, right? That's what kids do. And we're still doing it, and we're all adults. And it's getting really fired up there in the world. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. Okay, so, and you mean that to attack is to exchange the state in which you are for something better, safer, more secure from dangerous invasion and fear. So you know what? When I read this, what I get from this is like, I'm just going to justify attacking you, right? I'm going to justify that by claiming my purpose is not to really hurt you or to hurt another, but to preserve myself. What? Well, that's cruel. That's just downright cruel. And it's insane because that other person is you. I mean, we really have to think about these lessons. They go really deep because in this, from chapter 6, and we probably read this a million times, but here it is. What you project, you disown. And therefore, do not believe it's yours. Right? You don't believe it's yours. So lots of people go to psychotherapists, and they're told, they don't get to the root of the well, maybe some do nowadays with the Course in Miracles teaching and all the Dharma and whatnot, but unless you uproot the cause, you're going to smooth things over in the dream world. You've got to uproot the cause. So you're excluding yourself by the very judgment that you are different from the one on whom you project. You think you're different from that one you're attacking. No. That other one is you. It just looks different, but it's you. You only ever hurt yourself when you attack someone. We don't get it. If we did, we would stop, but we don't. We keep doing it. Since you have also judged against what you project, you continue to attack. You continue to attack it because you continue to keep it separated. So by doing this unconsciously, you try to keep the fact that you attacked yourself out of awareness. And the Master, Jesus, is here to say, the only person you hurt is you. Because there's nobody out there. It's all happening in your mind. And thus imagine that you have made yourself safe. Well, isn't that ridiculous? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Once you wake up and know that you are me and I am you, and everything I do to you, I do to myself. Once you wake up to that, you would not attack. The only thing you would ever do is forgive. You would never make the unreal real. No, you're in a whole different space. Okay. How thoroughly insane is the idea that to defend from fear is to attack? For here is fear begot and fed with blood, to make it grow and swell and rage. And thus is fear protected, not escaped. Well, the ego says, here's your solution for fear. Project it. Just project it. Just get rid of it. Find someone to throw your fear on, and then you'll be safe. That is the ego's thought system. Oh my gosh. Then, from the same chapter, chapter 6, we read, yet projection will always hurt you. It didn't say sometimes hurt you, always hurt you. So, love is extending with the Holy Spirit, and fear is projecting from the ego. And when you project, you will always hurt yourself. It reinforces your belief in your own split mind. And its only purpose is to keep the separation going. See, that's the ego's agenda. It wants to keep the separation real. He wants to make it real. Wants to keep it going. And to confuse you, mess you up, so you never know that you can choose love. It wants you to believe in the rules of this world, this duality, which is a place of insanity. It wants you to be in the matrix, plugged in to cultural beliefs, family beliefs, this belief, that belief. It wants you plugged in so that you can never escape. And give you some pleasure, Pleasure, but underneath that pleasure, it's like putting, what is it I read once? I cracked up. Putting icing on poop, right? Below the icing on the cake is the cake. Below the icing on the poo is the nasty. That's what the ego, with its pleasures, would have you believe. That, no, it's all pleasurable, it's all good, but there's fear underneath it. Projection and attack are inevitably related because projection is always a means of justifying attack. Anger without projection is impossible. And there's another place in the Course where it says, even a little irritation, the slightest, like one hair on your head of irritation is a symptom of rage. How about that? Like, what? We have a lot of work to do now, don't we? Right? And so anger without projection is impossible. So if you are an angry person and you don't know it, you're just projecting right, left, and center. And you don't even know it. And you're keeping the insane thought system of the belief in separation coming from the ego. You are keeping it seemingly intact and afraid and broke and anxious and all that stuff. So then it goes on to say the ego uses projection only to destroy your perception of both yourself and your brothers. The process begins by excluding something that exists in you, but which you do not want. and leads directly to excluding you from your brothers. So the purpose of defenses is to protect us from our fear, right? But they don't. They merely reinforce it. Every time you project, you reinforce your fear. Every time you project, you reinforce anxiety or whatever form of fear is in you. When you project it out, you just reinforce it. Okay, then, next paragraph. Those who project are vigilant for their own safety. You're so afraid. Angry. Have you ever been around like super angry people? You just walk in a room with them and you can feel like, oh, right? That energy of anger is everywhere. Angry people are in a state of projection 24/7. They have projected so much out of their mind that they are in a state of fear. And the more they keep projecting, the more you project, the more fear you'll have. And what you're doing, let's take sickness, because that's a biggie. So the body shows us there's something going on. We've projected something in our mind, which is we're so afraid of God. We want to keep the separation real because we're afraid of God. So we throw it onto the body. And then we start focusing on the body. You start focusing on the sickness, right? Oh, it's this big, and then that happened, and then this happened, and oh my God, it's never going to go away. What am I going to do? I'm so scared. I got this, I got that. And it stays real in your mind. But if you deal with the problem, okay, whatever. Oh, my body's showing me that I'm afraid of God. That's what that's about. I'm afraid of God. So my body's showing me that. So I get back into God consciousness and I forgive myself for all the fear that I've been holding on to in whatever form that is for you. The body doesn't lie. It's going to show you what's in your mind. But the first thing that will happen is you'll walk with the ego and start attacking yourself for having the problem. You'll be mad at yourself because you have this problem, right? And that's just how evil and how twisted the ego is. It just will have you believe that you are bad, bad, bad. So anything going on in your life, whether it's a body problem, it's, some illness, it's lack, and you're upset, you're angry at this, you're afraid of that. It's not because of that. It really is because you are already in a separated state in your mind. You already believe that you left God, and now God's going to punish you, and so you better run. And all of these things happening to us in whatever form are forgiveness opportunities. And remember what forgiveness is. Don't make the sickness real. Don't make that situation real. Don't make anger real. Only love is real. And love is all encompassing. There can be nothing else. There's nothing outside of love. It just is. It's everything. So we have work to do. Okay, so when we project, we're vigilant for our own safety. It's like, I'm going to be safe if I get rid of this, because we really think that love is fear. We're confused. It's like, what? Why would love tell me to lay my defenses down? That's dumb. That's what we really think. Why would love tell me to lay my defenses down? Because if I lay my defenses down, I'll be killed, or I'll be this, or I'll be that, right? And it goes into this in this lesson. So, all right. So now it says, you are afraid that your projections will return and hurt you. That's what you're really afraid of. You're more afraid of what you did. You're afraid of what you did. And it's going to come back and haunt you, which it will. Because you sent it forth, and it's going to come back exactly as you sent it by the law of cause and effect. Oh boy. So, believing you have blotted your projections from your own mind. See? It's like, okay, I'm going to throw it on you. I'm going to be mad at you. It's your fault. If you didn't do this, I wouldn't be like that. You did it. I believe that I've blotted this projection from my own mind. And also, I believe that my projections are trying to creep back in. Well, I'm always afraid. And they are. Whatever you put out to another person will absolutely come back to you in some form, but it'll always be fear. You're going to be afraid. Whenever you're afraid, you have to know you've projected somewhere. Since the projections have not left your mind, they are forced to engage, or you are forced to engage in constant activity in order not to recognize this. So the ego keeps you busy so that you never wake up and know that, oh, I'm doing it to myself. I'm doing it by how I think and what I put out there. Let me read that last line again. So powerful. Since the projections have not left your mind. See, we believe that it has. There's someone out there to hurt, to yell at, to get mad at, to slap. I believe my projections have not left my mind. So I'm forced to engage in constant activity in order not to recognize that I'm doing this. So I'm distracted with everything else in the world. The ego will keep me distracted so I never see that it's all me. I'm doing it all. Today we learn a lesson which can save you more delay and needless misery than you can possibly imagine. It is this: you make what you defend against, and by your own defense against it, is it real and inescapable. The very fact that you defend against fear affirms, okay? If I'm defending against fear, what I'm saying is I believe in its reality. I believe in fear. Fear doesn't exist. Fear is not real. So if I defend against fear, then I'm affirming its reality. Otherwise, you wouldn't need the defense. That's why make a list of your fears. Lay down your arms, and only then do you perceive it false. Laying down your arms is having an attitude of defenselessness, right? And it's not like if someone's hurting you or doing something to you, you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of in the moment, but not from a place of you are evil to that person. It's from a place of, oh, they're asleep. They don't know what they're doing, obviously, and I'm not going to make it real. I'm not going to make it real. And then we read in the manual, defenses are but foolish guardians of mad illusions. The more grotesque the dream, the fiercer and more powerful its defenses seem to be. Yet, when the teacher of God finally agrees to look past them, he finds that nothing was there. It is not danger that comes when defenses are laid down. It's safety. It is peace. It is joy. And it is God. When you see the face of innocence in yourself, you will see the face of innocence in others. And it always reminds me of the Peace Pilgrim. Have you ever read that book? I've talked about this before. But there was this woman, she was known as the Peace Pilgrim, and she walked across the world. She started in the United States, and she went through a lot of things to get to this point, but it was like a guided, let go of the world and just walk. So in one of her adventures walking, it was raining, and someone pulled over and asked her, do you want to ride? And because of the rain or whatnot, she got in the car. And she was really tired because she'd been walking and walking and walking, and she kind of curled up in the back seat and fell asleep. And the guy's driving, and then she woke up and she noticed that he was looking at her in the rearview mirror, and he stopped the car. And he said to her, who are you? I feel something when you're here in the car with me. This woman was really liberated from attack and defense. So she saw in him innocence. And he told her he had just been released from jail. He had been, I don't know, serial rapist or whatever he was. But he said he couldn't touch her. All he could feel in her presence was this love. That is the power of seeing the innocence in yourself and the innocence in other people. You are safe. You are safe in God's love. You are safe in the innocence of everything God. But we don't believe that. We think we're safe by attacking that other person, making them wrong and bad, so we get to win over here in our fear-based thought system. But it's only innocence that offers safety. Isn't that something? That's such a beautiful story. I highly recommend the book. It's really good. Okay. Where was I? Okay, I think I read that. For love now has an enemy. Oh, no, I didn't read this part. It seems to be the enemy without that you attack, yet your defense sets up an enemy within. An alien thought at war with you, depriving you of peace, splitting your mind into two camps, which seem wholly irreconcilable. For love now has a enemy, quote unquote, an opposite. And fear, the alien, now needs your defense against the threat of what you really are. Okay. Then from chapter 12, this will help us to understand that. You see what you expect, and you expect what you invite. But, oh, Lordy B, we're all unconscious. And it's like, what? No. Jesus says you see what you expect and you expect what you invite. Your perception is the result of your invitation coming to you as you sent for it. And perception is how you interpret what you're seeing. It's coming to you. See, you're holding that concept about yourself here in the mind. You throw it out, and then you get to see it in the world. It's the result of your own invitation. Coming to you as you sent for it. Two ways of looking at the world are in your mind. You can look through the eyes of love with the Holy Spirit, or you can look through the eyes of fear with the ego. And your perception will reflect the guidance you have chosen. So you just have to know if you're attacking someone, well, you're walking with the ego. If you're gossiping about someone, you're walking with the ego. If you're being nasty somewhere in time and space with a friend, family member, whoever, sarcastic, mean, rude, you're walking with the ego. Remember always that you see what you seek. For what you seek, you will find. The ego finds what it seeks, and only that. As you look in, you choose the guide for seeing, and then you look out and behold its witness. So it's in your mind first, then you look out and, oh, there it is. Oh dear. Okay. This is why you find what you seek, and what you want in yourself, you will make manifest, and you will accept it from the world because you put it there by wanting it. So what do you want? Love or fear? You get to have what you want. When you think you are projecting what you do not want, it is still because you do want it. See? I am responsible. I remember Sai Baba always asking, what do you want? Even if you think you're not projecting, Jesus is so cool here. When you think you are projecting what you don't want, it's still because you do want it. You're still addicted to the ego's thought system of fear. You think it's protecting you from something. No, you're at the control. What's in your mind? What are your fears? The mind then sees a divided world outside itself, but not within. So out here you see nice people and bad people, good people and bad people, happy people and sad people. Punish sins you think are yours in someone else. And thus does he become your victim, not your brother. Different from you in that he is more guilty, thus in need of your correction. How many people in your life do you feel you need to correct? Oh, Lord, I need to correct this person. A lot of people think they need to correct Putin. Maybe you think you need to correct Mr. Biden. But there is definitely someone or people in your life that you just feel it's your place to correct them. They're doing it wrong. Oh, wow, you just found some fear. It's not in them, it's in you. You didn't see it as a call for love. No, you attack them because they need your correction. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, and thus does he become your, so he's a victim. You've made him, you put your evil claws in him. He needs to be corrected. He doesn't know what he's talking about. They don't know what they're doing. Got any of those people in your life? Right? You've made them your victim. And you got venom. It's called attack. Attack and defense. All right. So you make him a victim, not your brother. Different from you in that he is more guilty, thus in need of your correction as the one more innocent than he. You're the innocent one. They're the bad one. They're the bad one. You just threw your stuff onto these world leaders, onto your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, your kids. You threw your stuff onto them because you've already said these people, they need to be corrected. They're not thinking straight. Oh, really? Who's not thinking straight? These people need to be corrected. They're not doing it right. Oh, really? And you are? Oh my, that's interesting, right? I am more innocent than you. That's the ego. That is the ego. If you consider carefully the means by which your fancied self-defense, oh, those words are so cute, right? Fancied self-defense proceeds on its imagined way, you will perceive the premises on which the idea stands. Okay, the defensive system of guilt and hate is not real, guys. It's fancified and imagined, but it is not real. What if you recognize that this world is a hallucination? Wouldn't that be amazing? What if you actually went, oh my God, I totally get it. This world is a hallucination. What if you really, really, really understood that you made it up? And you did. What if you realized that those who seem to walk about in it to sin and die and attack and murder and destroy themselves are wholly unreal? There's nobody out there. It's all in my head. This whole play that I'm seeing out there is in my head. Could you have faith in what you see if you accepted this? And would you see it? Oh boy, would you see it? First, it is obvious ideas must leave their source, for it is you who made attack, or it is you who make attack and must first conceived of it. Okay, so it all came from you. Oh dear. In truth, you are an idea in the mind of God, and you think that you've separated from this source, and now you think you exist outside of the mind of God, and that's really scary, right? So, oh boy, the first attack is I need, I'm moving into fear. You don't even know, it's unconscious. You took a detour into fear. And God is not even aware of it, but you took this detour into fear. When ideas seem to leave their source, that's what you do. Okay, and this is from chapter 2, the text, chapter 2. So, the early text is so profound. We'll have to go through that too. But it says here, first, you believe that what God created can be changed by your own mind. Oh, no. No. God created you out of his own image and likeness, right? So who you are is not up to you. You are already divine. You are already whole, perfect, and complete. Who you are is not, it just is. God is, and you're part of that isness. But you tell yourself something else. The I, the separate I, the made-up me, the fake self, with this special identity. I am special. I am blah, 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 blah. I. Right? So you make something else up. You have to ask yourself every day when you get out of bed, okay, good morning, world. Who do I say I am today? Oh, I am what God created. Oh, okay, that's good. Walk with me, angels. Walk with me, spirit guides. Walk with me, master teachers. I am ready to demonstrate that God lives in me. Right? So, no matter what you've done, no matter what you do, that your divine essence can never be changed. Ever, ever, ever. But you believe that what God made, what God created rather, can be changed by your own mind. Not going to happen. Never. Secondly, you believe that what is perfect can be rendered imperfect or lacking. And you say it all the time, I'm such a loser. Oh my God. I'm just so stupid. And you keep reinforcing that. We have to stop it. So you believe that you're not perfect. You're not whole. And that is so not true. Thirdly, you believe that you can distort the creations of God, including yourself. Not going to happen. Because what God made is, wow, perfect. It's unchangeable. It's filled with love and grace and light. You can't change that, no matter how hard you try. And fourthly, well, you believe that you can create yourself. I don't think so. You're created in the mind of God. But you think you can create yourself and that the direction of your own creation is up to you. Nope. There is a higher power that you are one with. Those 4 lines are so good. All right, next it says, yet you attack outside yourself and separate your mind from him who is to be attacked. With perfect faith, the split you made is real. Next are the attributes of love bestowed upon its enemy, for fear becomes your safety and protector of your peace, to which you turn for solace and escape from doubts about your strength and hope of rest in dreamless quiet. You just taken the ego's lies as truth. That's what's going on. Everything the ego tells you, you think is real. And what is the ego? That voice of fear. That voice, that's relentless voice. You're stupid. You can't do it. It's not going to work out. This is dumb. I can't stand him. I hate her. This world's stupid. Da 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 da. You take the ego's lies as truth. And then we turn to specialness. Well, I'll just run and hide in this special relationship with my honey pie and all will be well. right? We run to these special relationships for safety and solace. All right. Then, let not their form deceive you. Idols are but substitutes for your reality. In some way, you believe they will complete your little self for safety in a world perceived as dangerous, with forces massed against your confidence and peace of mind. And as love is shorn of what belongs to it, and it alone, love is endowed with attributes of fear. Love is our true security. And why is that? Because love is our true identity. You are only ever secure in love. That's who you are. For love would ask you to lay down all defense as merely foolish, and your arms indeed would crumble into dust, for such they are. They're nothing. All those arms, those defenses, those attacks that you think are hurting someone else, none of them are real. Not one thing you said about basically yourself, but you think it's another person, is real. What makes it real to you is dancing with it, focusing on it, feeding it, walking with it, talking to it, talking about it. It all becomes so real. Where's God? Where's love? And again, if you have something going on in the body, right? And I can speak because I do have something going on in the body. It's like, yeah, so I deny its power over me. God is the only power. Love is all powerful. Half the time, I don't even know it's there. I don't walk with it. I don't talk with it. I don't sit with it. I don't, no. And if it has a little twing, I just say to myself, oh, thank you so much. I am now needing to remember that God is. That's it. God is. Let's not focus on fear. Okay. You have built your whole insane belief system because you think you would be helpless in God's presence. You're afraid of God. So you had to build a thought system that kept you in your own world of silliness because you think God is going to punish you and knock you down. And you would save yourself from his love because you think it would crush you into nothingness. That's what you really think. You believe that. You are afraid it would sweep you away from yourself and make you little. Because you believe that magnitude lies in defiance. Ooh, my power over yours. I'm big if I make you small. Magnitude lies in defiance. And that attack is grandeur. You see that all the time in the world. Look at the bigwigs in the world right now. Right? That country does that. That country does that. Hi. I love you guys. Hi, Raul. Oh my gosh. I think of you so much. Oh, yeah. Okay. Where was I here? So we're afraid that it would sweep us away and make us little because you believe that magnitude lies in defiance and that attack is grandeur. And you see all the world leaders puffing up. Oh, they're getting puffier and puffier, throwing their missiles. You attack me, I attack you back. Oh my God, the world's on fire. It's crazy. And that's this. I'm gonna be safe over here in this country with my dome, right? Doing all that. And then nope. I'm going to be safe and bigger than you over here in this country, and I'm going to do this back to you. And I'm bigger than you because I have bigger missiles than you. Oh my God, what childish games. But they get us into big trouble. I don't know what's coming, but I don't think it's very good, right? You think you have made a world God would destroy, and by loving him, which you do love God. You're just a little afraid of God. You would throw this world away, which you would. Therefore, you have used the world to cover your love. And the deeper you go into the blackness of the ego's foundation, the closer you come to the love that is hidden there, and it is this that frightens you. In the obstacles to peace, the last obstacle to peace is fear of God. And we're all afraid of God because you project fear. If you were not projecting fear, then I would know you're not afraid of God. You're not afraid of love. We have to remove the blocks to the presence of love. You have to remove the blocks to be able to access the power of God in you. With love as enemy, must cruelty become a god. You make love an enemy, you're afraid of God. God is my enemy. So now cruelty becomes my God. Attack becomes my God. The ego's thought system becomes my God. The idols of fear become my God. Oh, yes, I know, right? So happy to be where I am today. Then would God's will be split in two and all creation be subjected to the laws of two opposing powers? Guys, there's not two powers. There is one power. Omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent God is the only power there is. And you have that power inside of you. And you can access that power when you remove the blocks. What are the blocks? Attack thoughts. Attack and defense, projecting fear onto a brother, onto a sister, onto a wife, onto a mother. Wow. God becomes, so this is what happens. It's like, then God's will be split in two, and all creation becomes subjected to the laws of two opposing powers until God becomes impatient and splits the world apart and relegates attack unto himself. Thus has he lost his mind, proclaiming sin, taken his reality from him, and brought his love at last to vengeance heels. And God's demand that those who worship them obey their dictates. Those are the idols of the ego's domain. If you idolize anxiety, and you do, when you're focused, it's like, I have anxiety, I need to heal this anxiety, I'm so anxious. Stop focusing on anxiety. And go do something creative. You'll stop hating when you start creating. And God's demand that those who worship them obey their dictates and refuse to question them. The ego ensures that we will never, ever, ever question anything. It's like, what happens is the minute we attack and the minute we focus on sickness and we focus on anxiety and we focus on the world and we are unconscious. That's like the veil comes down. We go unconscious. For the body is a limit on love. Body identification, identified with the separate self, is a limit on love. The belief in limited love was its origin, and it was made to limit the unlimited. Yeah, we make the body because we want to limit the unlimited, which is God, which is love. Think not that this is merely allegorical, for it was made to limit you. Stated another way, the body's purpose is to attack God and deny his love. Right? But if I see my body as a vehicle for the spirit, that's different. But identified with the ego's thought system, my body's purpose is to attack God and to deny his love. And we're unaware of this, so what do? We seek for love in this world. In the world of fear, we seek for love. And we really believe we're going to find it. Didn't you try to find love? It's fleeting, isn't it? Nothing is permanent in the world. We have to learn to be in the world and not of the world. Oh my gosh. The only love that's real is God's love. To love with a detached love, to be in the world, not of the world. And to enjoy the beauty and the blessings of the world with no attachment. That's freedom. Okay, so here's what the ego's all about. The denial of God. That's its religion. The ego has a religion. It's called the denial of God. Wow. Harsh punishment is meted out relentlessly to those who ask if the demands are sensible or even sane. It is their enemies who are unreasonable and insane, while they are always merciful and just. Today we look upon this cruel God dispassionately. You must look upon your illusions and not keep them hidden because they do not rest on their own foundation. Look at your illusions. What are you making real? Are you making poverty real? Are you making sadness real? I know, that's like, you got to go deep with that, guys, because you look with the body's eyes and you go, but there are poor people. Okay, well, you can help them, but don't make it real. They have the same God in them that you do. Right? That's what Jesus is asking us to do. Jesus did not see poverty. Jesus saw the innocence of God in the face of the people who believed that they're poor. I mean, this is so deep. Make nothing unreal real. That is the true meaning of forgiveness. To forgive the dream means I am not making anything that changes, which is unreal. I am not making any of it real. And it doesn't mean that you take a hands off in the world and you act indifferently toward, say, you want to support a village. Let's say I want to support a village and I want to donate money to this village. My question would be, who's doing the donating? Is it the ego that says, oh, those poor people, look at them over there. They have nothing to eat. Oh my God, if I don't come in here and rescue them, there's going to be a problem. I need to donate money to this village because they're having a hard time and they're obviously not getting it. When you do that, you are making the poverty, all this, what you're making it real. But what if you are aligned with the Holy Spirit and you say, I am moved. It's not even I'm going to, it's like the Spirit speaks. Your calling right now, Deanna, your purpose in this moment is to donate money to this village. And I'm donating money to this village not because they're poor, not because they're bad and they're never going to get it, and not because they're dirty and not because they need it. No. It's because that's what I'm being told to do, and all I see in these people is the face of love. And as I see the face of love in these people, that love is strength. And that love can help the people remember who they are and wake up. I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to demonstrate that none of this is real in my mind. Because the healing must be done in my mind. I am not making anything real that changes. Because someone in that village could be as poor as can be today, and they wake up and remember, and they figure out something, and there's so many stories, right, of people that are in poor villages, and wow, they get inspired, and they do something, and they change the whole village. If I can see that, the innocence and the magnificence in the people in this village, because I am aligned with the magnificence of God, well, my work is done. My work is not to see you as impoverished, no matter how it looks. I am not going to make the unreal real. You get that? That's really powerful. Okay, so we're going to look on all our illusions and not keep them hidden because they have like a foundation that's like made of sand. In concealment, they appear to do so, and thus they seem to be self-sustained. So you have to look at your illusions, because not to look will keep them there. Look at your fears, make that list. This is the fundamental illusion on which the others rest. And we note that though his lips are smeared with blood and fire seems to flame from him, he is but made of stone. Oh yeah, let me go back to this one because you're probably confused here. All right. The line 7:1 says, "Today we look upon this cruel God dispassionately." The cruel God is the ego in all its forms, the idols that we worship, fear, anger, rage, all that, okay? And then the next sentence says, "And we note that though his lips are smeared with blood and fire seems to flame from him, he is but made of stone." So that wrathful ego is nothing but a pillar of salt. It's nothing. It is nothing. And when you make the ego everything, you make it real for you, and now you suffer. This pillar of salt, called the ego, he can do nothing. We need not defy his power because he has none. He's like the man behind the curtain on The Wizard of Oz. The ego has absolutely no power. There's one power, God's power, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And you are a sunbeam to the sun. You are the beloved in whom God is well pleased. So there's only one power, and that power is in you. But to be able to access that power, you have to destroy the pillar of salt, the ego, the statue. It's a stone. It's a nothing. How does one overcome illusions? Surely not by force or anger, nor by opposing them in any way. See, the minute you start opposing the illusions, you're making them real. You're dancing with them. Jesus says, merely by letting reason tell you that they contradict reality. The only reality there is God's realm of perfect peace. That is the only reality there is. That is why the Course asks us to make peace our goal. Peace is God, peace is love, peace is health, peace is abundance. Make peace your goal. Merely by letting reason tell you that they contradict reality, they go against what must be true. The opposition comes from them and not reality. Reality opposes nothing because God is oneness. God is all-encompassing. There are no opposites in love. What merely is needs no defense and offers none. Power cannot oppose. God's power cannot oppose, for opposition would weaken it. And weakened power is a contradiction in ideas. Power is unopposed to be itself. No weakness can intrude on it without changing it into something it is not. Wow. And those who see in him their safety have no guardian, no strength to call upon in danger, and no mighty warrior to fight for them. This moment can be terrible. And that is the moment when you wake up and realize that the enemy is not outside of you, it's in your head. That's the moment of terror. It can be very uncomfortable when you finally realize, oh my goodness, the enemy is not out there. It's in my mind. But it can also be the time of your release from abject slavery. Slavery's dead, guys. You no longer need to be a slave to the ego. Choose love. Let love be the master. If you're not choosing love, you are a slave to the ego. You make a choice standing before this idol, seeing him exactly as he is. Will you restore to love what you have sought to wrest from it and lay before this mindless piece of stone? This is from, I think, chapter 16. So fearful has the truth become to you that unless it is weak and little and unworthy of value, you would not dare to look upon it. You think it is safer to endow the little self that you made with power, that you wrested from truth, triumphing over it and leaving it helpless. What is this precious thing, this priceless pearl, this hidden secret treasure to be wrested in righteous wrath from the most treacherous and cunning enemy? Or will you make another idol to replace it? For the god of cruelty takes many forms. Another can be found. The god of cruelty is the ego. It is very cruel. Yet do not think that fear is the escape from fear. Let us remember what the text has stressed about the obstacles to peace. The final one, the hardest to believe, is nothing and a seeming obstacle with the appearance of a solid block. Impenetrable, fearful, and beyond surmounting is the fear of God himself. Wow. See, the ego's always working vigilantly to convince you that you have destroyed God. Oh, you left the garden, now you're over there on your own and you destroyed God, and God's going to get you. So the ego wants you always confused and distracted so you never wake up. Here is the basic premise which enthrones the thought of fear as God. For fear is loved by those who worship it. Anything in you that makes you afraid, that you entertain, you're worshiping it, and it keeps growing. You get more and more afraid. It's like what you focus on expands. And love appears to be invested now with cruelty. Where does the totally insane belief in gods of vengeance come from? Love has not confused its attributes with those of fear. Yet must the worshippers of fear perceive their own confusion in fear's enemy, its cruelty as now a part of love. And what becomes more fearful than the heart of love itself? The blood appears to be upon his lips. The fire comes from him, and he is terrified above all else, cruel beyond conception, striking down all who acknowledge him to be their God. The choice you make today is certain, for you look for the last time upon this bit of carven stone you made. Every time you look at someone and you want to attack them, or just see them as a stone. The ego is a stone, a pillar of salt. That's it. So you're going to see this ego as a stone and call it God no longer. You've reached this place before, but you've chosen that this cruel God remain with you in still another form. See, the ego is a shapeshifter. It's a reptile, and then it's a snake, and then, well, a snake is a reptile, or it becomes a dragon, it becomes a lizard, it becomes whatever, a monster, Bigfoot, whatever, alien. It becomes something. You have reached this place before, but you have chosen that this cruel God remain with you in another form, and so the fear of God returned with you. This time you leave it there, and you return to a new world unburdened by its weight, beheld not in its sightless eyes, but in the vision that your choice restored to you. We're almost done. Now do your eyes, can you repeat the stone example, please? Oh, what did I say? Oh dear, what did I say? I don't remember, Susan. Oh my gosh, it came out so fast. Yeah.
Have to rewind it.
Oh, you'll have to rewind it. Yeah. Okay. The ego is a pillar of salt. The ego is a stone. And so if someone's attacking you, right, you just see them as a stone. It's a nothing. That attack that is coming at you, you make it real by identifying with what they're saying. right? But if you just see this stone standing in front of you, like there's nothing going on. Yeah. Okay. Now do your eyes belong to Christ, and he looks through them. Yea, God. Dear God, use my eyes that I might see the innocence in my brothers and in myself. Now your voice belongs to God and echoes his. I love you, God. I thank you, God. Wow. And God says, I thank you for being my beloved and demonstrating that I live through you. So my voice is being used for the highest good. And now your heart remains at peace forever. How about that? You have chosen him in place of idols, and your attributes given by your Creator are restored to you at last. The call for God is heard and answered. Now has fear made way for love, as God himself replaces cruelty. Father, we are like you. No cruelty abides in us, for there is none in you. We share the attributes of God. That's a beautiful thing, like the Father and the Son. We share the attributes of God. Okay. Then, let us stand silently before God's will and do what it has chosen that we do. There is one way alone by which we come to where all dreams began, and it is there that we will lay them down to come away in peace forever. Hear a brother call for help and answer him. It will be God to whom you answer, for you called on him. There is no other way to hear his voice. There is no other way to seek his Son. There is no other way to find yourself. Holy is healing, for the Son of God returns to heaven through its kind embrace. For healing tells him in the voice for God that all his sins have been forgiven him. Because I'm not making the unreal real. No matter what anyone has done to you in your past, and there are some horrendous things that we've done to each other. When you wake up and know who you are, you'll just laugh at all that stuff because you'll know it's not real. It's just not real. Your peace is ours, Father, and we bless the world with what we have received from you alone. We choose again and make our choice for all our brothers, knowing they are one with us. We bring them your salvation as we have received it now, and we give thanks for them who render us complete. Again, your gratitude to your brother is the only gift I want, and it's the only gift you want. I will bring it to God for you, knowing that to know your brother is to know God. Know your brother is innocent. Your mother, growing up, she might have been an alcoholic, drug addict, whacked you, hit you, whatever. Your father, an addict, a crazy person, all of it. When you wake up, okay, this is what Jesus is telling us here. I will bring it to God for you, knowing that to know your mother, to know your father, to know your brother, sister, all those people that from your past is to know God. If you are grateful to them, you are grateful to God for what he created. Through your gratitude, you come to know that your mother, brother, sister, daughter, son, granddaughter, whatever, and one moment of real recognition makes everyone your brother, because each of them is of your Father. In them we see your glory, and in them we find our peace. Holy are we, because your holiness has set us free, and we give thanks. Amen. What a beautiful lesson. That is so powerful, that whole lesson. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. Just a quick note, I'll be here Friday night for breathwork. It is under the Libra new moon solar eclipse. And it's a powerful time right now, as I was saying the other night with soul astrology. The solar eclipse, the next 6 months, Man, oh man, things are revving up in the world because the planetary alignments are really profound. There's lots of squares with Mars and Saturn, and oh my goodness, the beat goes on. But we are not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on love, and these are just opportunities. New moon, and Libra is, if you're in Egypt, she's goddess Mat, she has equanimity, holding everything in balance. And so it's a powerful breathwork session, and with new moon energies or not new moon and solar eclipse with us. It'll be a powerful time. So I'll be sending out the write-up for that. Jamie will put it together, and then you can sign up. Other than that, I'll be here again next Sunday for a review and so much more. So I love you all so much. And yeah, thank you, Kyron and Dawn, Susan, yeah, and Raul. Michael, I love you. Miss you so much, Michael. Got to get to Canada. You're welcome. Humbly walk. Yeah. God is good. Okay, everyone. Lots of love. We'll see you in a few days. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.